I'm Reg Emshoff. I'm with Capital Valuation. We're based in Madison and Sheboygan, and I work out of the Madison office. Capital Valuation Group is unique, I think, in Wisconsin for focusing only on the valuation of closely held businesses. The firm was founded on the principle of bringing together different disciplines. So accountants, CPAs, my background is in law, economists, people who've worked in businesses, have experience in operating a business. All of those people are on our team because each operates with a different language, a different perspective on what creates value in a business. So we are usually hired by an attorney to value a business for any number of reasons. We also do litigation support in the sense of determining damages sustained by a closely held business. So most all of our work is with closely held businesses, and we're usually hired by an attorney, often involved in litigation of some kind, but also involved in actual transactions. The topic today was business valuation, a very broad overview of the valuation process as it would apply to the value of an entire business that's going to be sold. I think one of the points I wanted to emphasize is that there are many different values for a business, and that lawyers may be familiar with an appraisal or business valuation for fair market value. But what we focused on today was more investment value, or the value to a particular buyer of that business. As such, we're focusing on 100% control, no minority discounts or consideration. And we're focusing on looking at financial information for that business, adjustments that would be made to the financial information to help present the business for sale, but also to focus on the income approach and specifically the discounted cash flow approach. Because the buyer of a business is more interested in where the business is going, its capacity for profits, more so than its history or its utilization of the assets that it has assembled. So we talked about adjustments to financial statements. We also talked about projecting cash flows and the need to look at cash flows rather than income, because businesses need to take some of those earned profits, reinvest them in working capital, and reinvest them in other fixed assets if that business is to grow. So income and cash flow differ. We also took a look at the pricing of cash flows, the development of the cost of equity, and some of the concerns we have in the current economic environment for determining interest rates and what an appropriate rate of return is on an investment in a small business compared to alternative investment opportunities. And finally, coming up with the value for a business and distinguishing that from a price that a particular buyer would pay for that business. And then finally, focusing on how that price is paid, because there are different ways to structure the sale of a business and its assets, and taking a look at leaving cash with the seller, leaving accounts receivable with the seller, or assuming debt, so that the final check that the seller receives at the closing may be quite different from the price that was negotiated and quite different from the value of various assets that were determined for that business.